Mark chapter 3, verse 31. There came then his brethren and his mother, and standing without sent unto him, calling him. And the multitude sat about him, and they said unto him, Behold, thy mother and thy brethren without seek for thee. And he answered them, saying, Who is my mother or my brethren? And he looked round about on them which sat about him, and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren, for whosoever shall do the will of Yahawah, the same is my brother and sister and mother. I want to give all praises and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Yahawashi, and salutation to the Akim, throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching the truth and sincerity, and keeping the faith of Yahawashi and the gospel. This is Yahawah. We're just going into a lesson just concerning, pretty much, your brother's own household, right? The people that you grew up with, all right? Your parents, your mother, your father, right? Your brother, your sister, whatever it is. And your aunts and uncles, extended family, cousins. Basically, you got to understand is that on this side, they're not those things, okay? There are those things according to the flesh, right? But not according to the spirit. And that's the thing. As of right now, we're approaching the last few seconds of Esau's rulership going down, and some of the main people that's going to turn up against you is going to be the people that you came up with from the time you were, in Pampers, all right? So you got to understand is that these demons, they're going to start hopping on the people that are in your family, all right, that are not in this truth. And, I know there's brothers, that probably live with people, such as their family, and they're dealing with this issue, okay? So you got to understand is that this thing is all written that you may be comforted, so that you may know that when it happens, that this was already written and that Yahawashi, showed us and warned us about these things, okay? And this is something that he had to deal with as well, right? So we're not greater, right, than our Lord, all right? So why shouldn't it happen to us, right? And it's a good sign if it's happening to you because of the fact that, it shows that you're not in this world. And the thing about it is, if you're really in this, rooted in this truth, there's going to be the spirit, right, of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi is going to be upon you. And they're going to know that something is different, even if you don't bring it out really to them to know, for them to know exactly what you got going on. You might not even tell them that, to the extent that you believe in terms of, laboring and doing the work on the highways and byways. That's something they might not know, but they will try and figure out a way, because I can tell you just from my own experience, it seemed that when I started, going out on the block, and that all of a sudden, people in your family needed help every Saturday. Every Saturday morning, they needed you to be here or there. They needed you to come out over here and there. They wanted you to stay, past this time and that time to help them out with something all of a sudden. Even though they didn't even know that you had that time blocked off, right, for your own, for doing the labor, demons will hop on them to all of a sudden start basically trying to throw you off. And, that's very common because the thing about it, the thing that we're in is that we're in a spiritual battle, man. This is not something that you can't really pinpoint, with your own eyes. This is all spiritual, okay? So it's not like, they got an eye on what you're doing and knowing that you got to do the work and they're trying to prevent you from doing the work. No, Satan knows it, all right? And he will hop on the people that all right? Whether it be your woman, if you have a woman, your wife, whether it's your children, all right, or anybody else, they're gonna basically have these demons hop on them to try and get you to go off course, right? To not be root, stay firm in this truth, okay? So, we're just kind of going into a few different scriptures, just for, simple, edification. But this right here is is a main foundational piece of this truth, okay? And this is Luke chapter 21 and verse 17. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, all right? So all men, all right? That means everybody, including your own family, all right? The household that you grew up with, right? Because really, like in the last scriptures, the only people that are going to be, with you are going to be those that are in the will of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, all right? That's really your real family, all right? It's not going to be this fleshly family that people talk about, because they're going to try and say all those things. Oh, family comes first. When all else fails, your family is going to be there with you. when that's not really the case, man. That's what Satan puts in their mind to say to you, but they're not really down with you when all the chips fall down, right? Because the time's going to come when things is going to get really rough and people are going to really show their real colors, man. That's really when it's going to be known who is really, the true, elect, man. Not in these times when things haven't really gotten turned up. Right now, brothers that's catching hell in their own tribulation in their lives, but your family that's not in this truth, you already know that they're not going to be for you, all right, in the time of trouble, because they're not in this thing, right? And some brothers have been fortunate that they have either, somebody in their family that believes, or they might even have a parent or whoever that might believe as well. But that's part of, how it's sometimes set up. But for the most part, most brethren are not going to have that. And it's all part of the trials and tribulations that you're going to face. I know for me, from my standpoint, I never really was that close to my family. So coming into the truth, was something that, and hearing and seeing this, I could already see it before I even got into the truth, that, I was already set up against them, from the time I was a kid, but for some, you got some brethren, y'all were very close with your family, all right, with your siblings and everything like that. And this might be a lot tougher for you. All right, but this is just to kind of encourage you to know that this is something that's supposed to happen as part of your walk. All right. Now, from going into Luke chapter 9 and verse 59, and he said unto another, follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. And Yahawashi said unto him, let the dead bury their dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, right? So here it is, someone dies in the family, all right? Sometimes, people want you to mourn with them for an extended period of time, and they want you to come by the house all the time, and they want you to go and help them out with burying them and all that stuff. And, we're not saying for people to not go do that. We're talking about all that stuff is nothing, because if in the scriptures, man, that one that is dead is buried in one that is alive, man. I mean, the ones that are passed away, right, that are in the spirit world, they're doing better than us, all right? For any of us that are down here, we're here because we still got the word, of the Lord to fulfill, right? Which is basically going out here and preaching this gospel until this place goes down or we're taken out, ourselves, all right? So, that's the type of stuff that'll happen, and they'll try and guilt trip you over things like that because, people are going to be dying. I mean, there's judgment being passed around everywhere. And, if you come from a big family, I know for me, myself, I come from a big, extended family as well. Man, it's common for a relative to die. Like, every other month, somebody's dying. And then people want you to go to this, that, and the other. But you can't make it because you got other obligations. And when that happens, you don't make it to those things. A lot of times your family's going to look at you like you don't care. Well, really, we don't care because, like we said, we're already dead. I mean, how are we gonna mourn? How are you gonna? It's gonna be harder for you to mourn somebody on this side when we ourselves are dead. You know what I'm saying? It's even a state of mourning for them to see us, our old selves dead. Not liking things like we used to. A lot of the stuff that you're into, a lot of the foods that you're into, things like that they knew back in the world. They're looking at you like, man, you don't like this anymore. You don't like sitting up, all night and watching, basketball games on TNT like you used to, or you don't like, eating, at, some, place where they serve abominable foods. They're gonna be looking at you crazy, man. So you're in their eyes, you died, but for them, they don't understand the whole process of what we're in because it's not given to them to know. We're the ones that have been fortunate to have the truth. Right? But the thing about it, at the end of the day, we have obligations, man. The most important thing is for us to basically, wake up the dead, all right, of our people out of their deadly state, which is basically the sin that they're in, and not basically being out with the true light and life, all right, the way, the truth, and the life, which is Yahawashi. All right, so that's what we're doing. We're basically spending our time trying to raise the dead of the elect that's still, not in the right state that they need to be in, which is basically being back in the fold, right, of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi. All right, now continuing on, it says, and another also said, Lord, I will follow thee, but let me first go bid them farewell which are at my house. See, the thing about it is the Most High didn't call everybody at your house. All right, so for them, we don't have to deal with them like we used to. At this particular point, man, The more and more you get into the truth, and the closer and closer as we get out of this place, man, the divisions between you and your family can only, pretty much increase, man. And that's just the way it is, because the thing about it is these demons that are hopping on them are going to do everything they can to get you back into their world, man, into their folly. That's their whole goal, is to basically do that one thing. They want you to basically have that mentality of like, hey, I really miss you. You shouldn't really miss your family that's not this truth, man. You shouldn't miss them. You shouldn't feel some type of way like, I gotta make sure, you basically do what you have to do. If you're in the same city or whatever, you might just stop by and just see what's what. I mean, that's really it. Like, you shouldn't be sitting there trying to sulk back in and be like all, playing Mr. Family Guy and being the great son, all right, that they expect you to be. Because again, their standards is not even according to the standards, right, of the Bible. Their standards is according to the standards of this world. Okay, and that's why Yahawashi says this. And Yahawashi said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Yahawah. All right, so you're not fit for the kingdom if you're looking back and trying to desire that old fuzzy feeling that you used to get when you were growing up with your family. All right, that's an example of looking back. That's an example of looking back, because you're looking back at that past life and saying, you know what, that life that I had back then was better than what I'm doing right now. And that makes a man not fit. That shouldn't cross your mind. This should be the one thing we're looking for, is we're looking forward. We're not looking back. What are we looking forward to? We're looking forward to the kingdom. We want to get the hell out of here, even if that means that our family don't get it. Right? And really, in your mind, anybody that's having problems with that, you should already count them as dead. Anybody that's not in Yahawashi right now already is dead. All right? They're as good as dead. So you should already be looking at it like, you know what? They're nothing. The only thing that matters is this truth. All right? Trying to basically work out your salvation with fear and trembling. And then let the Most High take care of themselves. If they're going to wake up, they're more than likely not going to wake up through you. So preaching, the word, the scriptures to your family, a lot of times is a dead end road. Okay? We're going to get into that as well in the scriptures. Right now, this is Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. Think not that I come to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father. Yeah, so if you got a father and you're not arguing against him, you need to realize what's going on, man. Because if he's not in this truth, man, there should be conflict there. Because there should be an opposing forces, spiritual forces at play when you step up in the house, man. When you step up to them and you're basically just going about, you don't even have to bring up the truth. See, that's how spiritual this thing is. You don't got to bring up nothing about the truth. You just being there should be enough to just get him vexed. He should already be set against you just off the fact that you got the spirit of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi on you. All right? And the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. Yeah, so your enemies, all right, your foes, your main foes is going to be the same mother, all right, that used to breastfeed you, okay? The same mother, all right, that bought you your first pair of Jordans, all right? The same mother that used to read bedtime stories and tuck you in at night. That same mother, all right? The same father, all right, that taught you how to, shoot hoops or catch a football, all right? The same one that taught you how to drive your first car. All those different things, whatever it is, they're going to be set up against you. All those fuzzy feelings is gone when you get into this truth. This is where the real stuff happens, man. The division, man. This is the type of stuff that goes on, and a lot of people, they can't take their family not liking them anymore, right? Being told that they hate you, that they don't like you, that you changed, and that you're not a good son, all right? Right? And for, any, sincere sisters out there, you're not a good daughter anymore, or you're not a good sister, and all you care about is basically trying to, live a right life. All these different things is here written in the scriptures for a reason, because this is what's going to happen to those that are in the will of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi. You got women that are also, with men of the Lord as well, and they're going to catch hell because they're with a crazy, what they call a crazy man that likes to go out and preach. all right? But those women, all right, are going to be justified, all right, at the end for being, obedient, all right, to their men, all right? So these are the type of things that's going to go on, all right, in this truth, all right? In this walk of ours, this is not meant to be an easy walk, all right? That's the reason why it's a laborious thing, all right? It's something that is taxing, all right, to the soul, all right, vexing to the mind. But it's all part of our walk. It's all part of our fiery trial that you have to go through. Okay? We're going into Matthew chapter 13 and verse 54. And when he was come into his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, insomuch that they were astonished and said, whence hath this man this wisdom and these mighty works? Yeah, because when you first get into the truth and you start getting the understanding the scriptures, you might even come out and start saying some things, around people that you grew up with in your own hometown, right? So you're in your own home city, and people gonna look at you like, man, this guy, man, he's from such and such place, man. I know about there. Man, he went to such and such high school, man. I know people that know him. All those different things, they're gonna be astonished at that you can go into these scriptures and bring out understanding, and they're gonna be offended, man. There's another account in the same one, that basically shows that this is, it shows you that Yahawashi really couldn't even deal in his hometown. We're going to go further. It says here, is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brethren, James and Joseph and Simon and Judas, and his sisters? Are they not all with us? Whence then hath this man all these things? Right? And that shows you that Yahawashi wasn't preaching the word. The Most High had it to where he had to wait till he was 30 before the Most High was going to use him to do this work. So he had to sit back and wait for the power, right, of Yahawah to fall upon him to do this work. And when that happens, which is what happened to us as well, is people are going to be questioning these same things. They're going to be asking the same questions, all right? And they were offended in him. But Yahawashi said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house. So no marvel that your parents, your siblings, don't want to listen to you. All right? Because of the fact that, guess what? You grew up around these people. You're not going to be, that's why it's written. Yahawashi said that. And that's the reason why you go further on. It says, and he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief. And that's the reason why a lot of things ain't going to happen, all right, for a lot of people because of their unbelief. But that includes a lot of your family. Because, see, when things start happening, when brothers start getting, different, spiritual gifts such as, the gifts of healing, the gifts of miracles, all right, and all those things, guess who's going to be the main people that's probably not going to come to you, all right, and ask you to do something for them? Your own family. They're not going to believe these different things, right? So not many mighty works is going to be done among them. All right, but the Most High set it up like that because you were not meant to be, a part of, your family, right, when you're called into this truth, all right? And that's the reason why David said this. I was listening to this earlier today, while at the plantation, and it made me spark up to think about, doing this lesson. It says here, this is Psalms 27 and 10. When my father and my mother forsake me, then Yahawah will take me up. Okay? And that's plain, man. I mean, that's the process that's going to happen, right? That you're going to be forsaken by your own kin, your own parents. But guess what? Who's going to be there for you, right? Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi is going to be there for you to take you up if you're part of the elect. All right, so hope this was edifying. And brothers, stay encouraged out there that you know that these things is going to happen. You're going to have people coming up against you, especially those of your own family. You got to basically, gird up your loins. You got to be a man. You got to stand firm, and you got to understand that this is all part of the tribulations and trials. All right, that certain brethren are going to have to go through. Right, so again, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Yasharallah, and salutations to the Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching the truth and sincerity, and keeping the faith of Yahawashi and the gospel. Shalom.